One endless watches the inconscient scene where all things perish at the foam, the stars. The one lives forever. The one lives forever. That being, he lives forever. He is only over the soul. There, no such one changing was born, and there, no Savitri claims from brief life her bribe of joy. See, you are asking for these small little gifts and pettinesses, exiguous doles, or whatever you want to call it. There are no Savitri claims from brief life a bribe of joy. Thy love, see this line, claims from brief life a joy. Their love is a monosyllabic line, beautiful line. Changing was born, and there no Savitri claims from brief life a bribe of joy. Their love came never with his fretful eyes tears. Not time is there, nor the vain vast of space. So there is no time, there is no space, there is nothing here, but there is only the one lives alone. See. It wears no living face, it has no name. How can he help you then? No name, no gaze, no heart that throbs. It asks no second to aid this being or to share its joy. It is delight immortally alone. That one, yeah, that one. It is delight. He is Anandamaya. He is Ananda Purusha, alone, enjoying blissfully, quietly. He is not affected, you see. He is there alone. Witness, after all, is a witness. It is delight immortally alone. If thou desirest immortality, you want that kind of immortality? Okay, my girl, be then alone sufficient to thy soul. Live in thyself. Forget the man thou lovest. You want immortality of that kind, alone, blissful, then what do you want such a one? Forget about him. Go and live there with him. My last grand death shall rescue thee from life. Then shalt thou rise into thy unnamed soul. So he knows that Savitri is somebody else apart from the human Savitri. He recognizes that there is somebody else behind her. She has taken the human form. He recognizes that. Then shalt thou rise into thy, and you have come from that incarnate Savitri who has taken the human birth. You go back and live in your original soul. But Savitri replied to the dread voice, O death, who reasonest, I reason not. Reason that scans and braves but cannot build, or builds in vain because she doubts her work. Her reason. Her is for reason. Builds in vain because she, reason, doubts her own work. Reason is she, feminine. Therefore, she is very fragile. Frail and fragile. See. Reason that scans and braves but cannot build, or builds in vain. It is very true. Reason cannot build at all. Ultimately, it is something else which builds. You always say, I am in two minds. Whether I should do this or should do that. You are puzzled, you are not able to decide at all. You say I am in two minds. You see. Reason is not able to help. At that moment, what helps you? It is some kind of a vital push from within. You say, okay, go and do this. You see. It is that which helps you. Reason does not help you. And therefore, you are a reasoner. You are a person who reasons out. You may not be a reasonable being, but you surely are one who reasons. See, you are not a reasonable being, all right, but you are the one who reasons. You see. Reason that scans and braves but cannot build or builds in vain because she doubts her work. And again, this reason, that is what you are. You are reasoning. That is what, again, that what I am. I am. I love. I see. I act. I will. Again, perfect iambic line. Absolutely monosyllabic. I am. I love. I see. I act. I will. It is kind of a mantra. You keep on chanting, chanting, chanting. You see the kind of power it builds into that. I am, I love, I see, I act, I will. I am, I love, I see, I act, I will. See? Yeah. Death answered her one deep surrounding cry. She says, I love, I see, I am. What else is required? I don't need anything else. Everything is present in love, in my seeing, in my action, in my will. Actually, act and will, they're more or less synonymous. Death answered her one deep surrounding cry. No, also. But, madam, you may love, you are, you may see, you may act, you may will, but you don't know. You have to know also what you are, what things are, what this creation is for, towards where it is heading. Know also, knowing, thou shalt cease to love and cease to will. All that you are asserting, love and seeing and willing, delivered from thy heart, that will go away if you know the raison d'etre of this creation. What is it for? Why it is there? What things operate here? If you know that raison d'etre, then you will cease to love, to be, to see, to act, to will. And cease to will, deliver from my heart. So shalt thou rest forever and be still, consenting to the impermanence of things. You will understand then, you will know, you will understand that what you are here is only the impermanent. Buddha was looking for the permanent. There is no permanent here, you see. Impermanent thing. But Savitri replied for man. Savitri did not answer for herself. She has no necessity to answer. But on behalf of man, she is responding and telling to death, when I am Lord forever, I shall know. When I am Lord forever, I shall know. What is the necessity of knowing? It is love that will give me all knowledge. It is love that will tell me what to do and what not to do. Because my love is one with God Himself. And it is God who will tell me, who will do whatever has to be done for me. Where is the question of knowing anything? So when I have loved forever, I have known everything. I don't have to know separately anything. It is the power of love which will tell me what it is. In fact, that is exactly what happened in the case of Savitri. When Savitri met Satyavan for the first time, they fell in the first sight, love at first sight, they fell into each other's love. Savitri knew at once who he is. That power of love got awakened in her, and she knew who was standing there in front of her. That power of love. She knew at once who he was. The power of love got awakened in her. Same thing happened when Narad comes and tells to Savitri, look, Savitri, 12 swift-winged months are given to you and to him. This day returning, Satyavan must die. Let him die. But I know how to love. And I know how to go by love. That power of love tells her that even if there is a greater calamity, that calamity can be met by the power of love. It is that power of love which will triumph over every calamity. So I had known everything by the power of love. We have concrete instances in the history of Savitri itself earlier, like that. When I had loved forever, I had known everything. Finished. What are you talking then about? You see? When I had loved forever, I shall know. Did Christ know all that he had to know because the power of love? He is the incarnation of love. He has identified himself with the suffering of his world. He has brought divine love. He has fixed it up in a mortal body. By that love does he know all that is to know. I shall know. Yes, love got substantiated, established here because of him. But by that does he know everything? I don't know. But I doubt whether he knew everything. Whether he knew when I had loved forever. Of course he loved forever. By that power of loving forever, did he know all that had to be known? No, I don't think he knew. But he is somebody who says that by the power of love I know everything. That is the contrast, that is the difference between the love of Christ and the love of Savitri. The avatar comes not to display his extravagances. He comes for a specific purpose. He doesn't want to display, I am God, this thing, that thing. He comes for a specific purpose. He works for that purpose, walks away, and things will be taken care of by things to happen, you see. He doesn't come here to display things. He need not know what was necessary at that point of time. That he knows and he carries forward and goes away. If something has to happen, that will happen because of the power of love. He did not know that. It happened the same thing earlier also. Rama was an avatar. Krishna was an avatar. They had come for a specific purpose of their avatarhood. They did not want to display the powers of the Supreme. This is your work, do that work. That's all. It does not mean that the other things are not present in him, are not in operation there. They are held back purposefully. Krishna also, overmind creation, for that purpose alone. Mental being, Manomaya Purusha, Rama's avatarhood. It is for that purpose alone, not for the display of the qualities of Brahman or the eternal or the supreme. Specific purpose. In the same way here, Christ need not know all that which love can know. What was necessary for that avatarhood, that he knows. That's all. But here, Savitri is now going beyond that. When I have loved forever, I shall know. Love in me, know the truth, all changing Ma. I know that knowledge is a vast embrace. I know that every being is myself. These are the aspects of love. In every heart is hidden the myriad one. So these are the aspects of love. I know all that. I know I know that knowledge is a vast embrace. I know that every being is myself. In every heart is hidden the myriad one. These are the aspects of love. I know that, you see. What else you want, Mr. Death? I know all this. Now, I know that knowledge is... Now, this is not necessary. This was not necessary for Christ as the power of love, as the avatar of love. This was not necessary. That was not his work. Of vast embrace of every being as myself, that everything is hidden in me. That was not necessary for his work, and therefore that was kept aside. I know the calm, transcendent, bare the world, the veiled inhabitant, the silent Lord. I feel his secret act, his intimate fire. I hear the murmur of the cosmic voice. 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 I don't think Christ ever heard the murmur of the cosmic voice. I know my coming was a way from God. So she is asserting her incarnation. I come straight from God, way from God, a surge from God. For all his sons are conscient in my birth, and one who loves in us came veiled by death. All his sons are conscient in my birth. That is the greatest occult mystery of Savitri's incarnation. When she takes the physical birth, that physical birth is aglow with all the powers of the suns. Every power of the sun, it is aglow. The power of love, the sun of love, the sun of beauty, the sun of joy, the sun of sweetness, the sun of whatever. All the suns are conscient in my birth. It is because the suns are conscient in our birth that she could do the yoga of the physical transformation. The suns are conscient in the physical birth. What does he want? In the case of Mary, Christ's mother, she has got a crown of 12 suns or what you want to call it. But here, all the suns are conscient in my birth. All the suns are conscient in my birth. The one who loves in us came veiled. The one who loves in us, that is Satyavan, came veiled by death. That again asserts the incarnation of Satyavan, that he is not one who is ordinary. Then man was born among the monster stars, devoured the mind and heart to conquer thee. He says, then, when the sons are born, when I was born, conscient in my birth, then was born man. The true man's birth takes place after that. In the eternity of his ruthless will, his death, in the eternity of his ruthless will, sure of his empire, his armored might, like one disdaining violent whisper from victim lips, death answered not again. What can he answer? When he says, all the sons are conscient in my birth, what can he answer? These sons he never knew. What can he answer? He stood in silence and in darkness wrapped. He stood in silence and in darkness. Already there is a darkness, but he is wrapped more in darkness. A figure motionless, a shadow vague, girded to the terrors of the secret soul. Girded to the terrors of a secret soul. A shadow, he is a shadow, obviously, shadow of the nothing. And he is girded with a sword. You see. The battle is not yet over. In fact, the battle is about to begin. So he is there standing, girded with the sword. In the next book, the battle will intensify. Half seen in clouds appeared a storm of flame. Nice dust terror was his matted hair. The ashes of the fire, his forehead sign. That is the Shiva, the destroyer. Once more, a wanderer in the unending night, blindly forbidden by dead vacant eye. She traveled to the dumb, unhoping one. She, of course, Savitri, she travels the dumb, unhoping one. She has yet no hope because he's there. Around her rove the shuddering waste of gloom, the swallowing emptiness and joyless death, resentful of her thought and life and love. Through the long fading night, fading night by her compelled, gliding half seen on their unearthly path, phantasmal in the dimness, moved the three. The three, the spirit of Satyavan, Death himself, and behind them Savitri. Phantasmal in the dimness moved the three. Moved the three. How? Compelled by her. Come on, move on into your night. Move on, get on. Let's go further to see the end of night, where it ends. Who shall prohibit or hedge in his course? The wonderful, the charioteer, the swift. He is, of course, the wonderful. He is the charioteer who is guiding the course of all the movements, all this progress is charioted by him. He is the swift. He will accomplish in no time, just like that, just like that, just like that. A traveler of the million roads of life, his steps familiar with the lights of heaven, tread without pain, the sword-paved course of hell. There he descends to fetch eternal joy. So sword-paved course of hell. Well, this is true. It is not only jagged hills, rough hewn stone, but what you have got here, not only thorns, but swords, spikes of swords are there, and you are walking on them. Sword paved course of hell, you are going. Sword paved of love. That is my God of love. That is my God of love. There he descends to fetch eternal joy. Love's golden wings have powers to fan thy void. The eyes of love gaze starlight to death's night. The feet of love tread naked hardest pearls. So you have got feet of love. You have got golden wings of love. You have got eyes of love. See, he was talking of only one thing, God. So the metaphor continues. Savitri is answering she is listening to what he is saying, to every word, and corroborating her answer with what he has said also, you see. So that is the tightness of Savitri's spiritual poetry. And therefore he says, love's golden wings, eyes of love, feet of love. Do we have feet of love? Well, certainly you don't have feet of love. He labors in the depths, exalts on the heights. So he does not disdain depths. He does not remain away, aloof, enjoying the heights. He has both at his hand. He shall remake thy universe, O death, because he exerts in depths, he labors in depths, he exerts in height. Both the things are there. He enjoys the majesty of those golden realms. He knows that there is a work to be done in the depths, and he enjoys that work, and therefore he shall remake thy universe, O death. You have made this universe with its orbs of light and stars and all that. He will remake them. The stars, what stars you have made, he will remake them with different power of vision. They will have vision. They will see the depths of night. The stars will see the depths of night with a divine vision. Why this night is there? The profundity of night for the star to shine. What for? What is there present in this night? It is that they will try to bring out, they will see and bring out those stars. That is how they will make a new world that was made by death. She spoke, and for a while no voice replied. What can they be? While still they travel through the trackless night, and still that gleam was like a pallid eye, troubling the darkness with a doubtful gaze. So they're still moving in that endless night. The spirit of Satyavan, behind him, the figure of death, behind them, Savitri. The procession moves on in the endless night. Then once more came a deep and perilous pause, deep and perilous pause. Now he's taken a long breath to inflict another weapon of argument. Use another. In that unreal journey through blind knot, once more a thought, a word in the void arose, and death made answer to the human soul. So it is Savitri who is speaking those things with all that wisdom of God. That human soul is in possession of that wisdom of God, and it is with that she was answering to him. But now this God is replying back to Savitri. What is thy hope? To what dost thou aspire? I don't understand. What are you up to? You are hoping something, what for? You said he will remake this universe, my universe. What is your hope? What are you aiming at, dreaming at, you see? What is your hope? To what dost thou aspire? I have created this world, and what else want from this world? This is the body's sweetest lure of bliss. Your husband is away. You are no more in the physical company of your husband, and therefore you are arguing this kind of things. You see, this is your vital passion. Give it up. Forget about all that. This is thy body's sweetest lure of assailed by pain, a frail, precarious form, to please for a few years the faltering sun, with honey your physical longing and a heart's fire, and a vain oneness seeking to embrace the brilliant idol of a fugitive hour. This is a passing hour, going away, coming away. You want to embrace that hour, but that will also disappear. This is your vital longing, this is your physical longing, this is your sensuous passion which wants your Satyavan back. What are you up to? Impossible. Forget about that. And thou, what art thou? Soul, the glorious dream. Where is your soul? There is nothing like a soul. It is your dream. It is your fiction. It is your imagination. It is your thought. Forget about that. Oh, brief emotions made and glittering of brief emotions made and glittering thought. He says it is made of glittering thought, of emotion. A thin dance of fireflies speeding to the night, a sparkling firmament in life's sunlit mind. So in the marshy land, you see the fireflies dancing and all that thing. It is that what you call soul. What kind of lady you are? You don't understand this small little thing in the marshy land. Will thou claim immortality? O heart, crying against eternal witnesses that thou and he are endless powers and last? Are you really endless powers who live and live and live? Impossible, forget. What kind of witnesses you are calling to assert that? Death only lasts and inconscient void. That is all. Now, at least this fool is thankful that there is somebody else also who can last. Not only he. Who? The inconscient void. He knows it. because it is from that he was born. He assumed a shape, a form. He came out of nothingness, out of that void, to present himself as a person to confront Savitri was there now. And therefore he says in conscient void, I only am eternal and endure. Now I am eternal, I endure because I come from the inconscient void. As long as the inconscient void is there, I shall be there. I will endure. I will remain there always. I am the shapeless, formidable vast. I am the emptiness that men call space. I am a timeless nothingness carrying all. I am the illimitable, the mute alone. That is all I am. I am alone, that's all. Nobody else. I am the illimitable. My power is boundless. It has no boundaries. It can stretch in every direction, everywhere. And yet I am alone. I, death, am he. What you are calling supreme or whatever, it is I after all. There is no other God. You are imagining some other God, but there is really no other God. That God, if it is there, who is that God? I. All from my deaths are born. They live by death. They live by death. So it is death who gives life to them. It is death who gives life to them. All my debts return and are no more. All to my depths return and are no more. I have made a world by my inconscient force. It is true. What he says is true also. He is not making a wrong statement. My force is nature. My inconscient force. What is this force? Nature. Who creates and slays the hearts that hope. So that is the nature of nature. One who creates and she slays that heart that hope. That is the nature of nature. The limbs that long to live. I have made man her instrument and slave. His body I have made my banquet. His life my food. I eat, I eat, I eat. Man has no other hell but only death. That is his assumption. Because he has no other knowledge or possibility in this world. Man has no other help but only death. He comes to me at his end for rest and peace. But can there be peace even if he goes there? No. No. I, death, I am the one refuge of thy soul. The gods to whom man prays can help not man. They are my imaginations and my moods reflected in him by illusions. So who are these gods after all? Their reflection, their projection of illusions' power. You are after them. Be merry. Run after them. They are not going to help you at all, finally. That which thou seest as thy immortal self is a shadowy icon of my infinite. You are talking of somebody who is immortal, undying, and all that thing. After all, what is that after all? It is a shadow of my creation, my image. It is that shadow what you are talking. Yeah. Is death indeed dreaming of eternity? It is that death which is dreaming of eternity in you. I am the immobile in which all things move. I am the nude name in which they see. I had no body and no tongue to speak, coming not with human eye and ear. Only that thought gave a figure to my void. It is to my void your thought has given this imagination. It is your creation, your mental notion of thing is not true at all. It means it is not true. Because, O aspirant to divinity, thou caused me to wrestle with thy soul. I assumed a face, a form, a voice. Now, this is the real truth he has uttered. The rest was all the while bagatelle. It was really bagatelle, all the rest. But this is the real truth he is uttering. Something insignificant, something not worthwhile, bagatelle. But this is the real thing. Because, oh aspirant, he recognizes that she is the aspirant to divinity. He recognizes. No, this is not bagatelle. I am telling you, until now what he was talking was bagatelle. Now the real thing which he is talking is in these 3 lines. Because, oh aspirant, you are the aspirant, he recognizes something of that in the soul of Savitri. It is because you have called me, I assumed a form to give a fight to you. Otherwise, I was happy in my void. I was lying there. There was no necessity, need for me to take a form and a shape and present myself to you. Thou caused me to wrestle with thy soul. Now again he says, you see, very careful. I am not interested in your vital being, your mental being, your physical being, this thing, that thing, that thing, that thing. I am interested in your soul, in response to your soul. That is what matters to me. The rest is all of no consequence for me at all. Therefore, I had taken this form and I am presenting myself to you. Because, O aspirant to divinity, thou caused me. Did she call him? Did she call him? She didn't call him. Yeah, in the strictest logical sense, she didn't call him. Yet she wanted him to come. He had to come to face her, to meet her, to accept her challenge. It was absolutely necessary that they sort of meet physically, one against the other. She is there, he has to come. Otherwise, what is she going to fight with? In the air, in the clouds, he has to come, you see. In that sense, she did call him, come on, let's fight out. Let us see who wins the battle. Let us enter into the list of the spirit in the wrestling ground, in the pit of wrestle arena. Let us enter there and fight out the issue. Who is going to win? You have called me, therefore I have come. In that sense. I assumed a face, a form, a voice. Otherwise, I have no face, I have no form, I have no voice, I don't speak. I am alone, void, alone. But if there were a being witnessing all, how should he help that passionate desire? You think somebody is going to help you against me? If there is a being who is seeing all these things happening, how is he going to help you? I don't understand that. You are there, I am there, finished. He is not going to help you at all, you see. How should he help thy passion? Your passion for the return of Satyavan, that is a desire. Who can help it? Impossible. There is nobody to help you at all. Aloof he was his soul, and absolute, indifferent to thy cry in nameless form. Indifferent to thy cry in nameless form. See, on that fateful day, gods above and nature's soul below were the spectators of that mighty strife. That is what we have got in the second canto. Gods above and nature's soul below were the spectators of that mighty strife. There is nobody else. The nature is all watching this man dying, this lady there sitting, Yama coming there and all that. Nature is watching and gods above helplessly. They are seeing the whole thing going on. So he says, aloof he watches. So like that, he is there. God if is there, he is there watching. Aloof he watches soul and absolute, indifferent to the cry in nameless calm. Actually later on he will say, he watches, here he says he watches, because it is in the context of witnessing on, but if there is a being, in the context of that being, he watches. Later on, Death will tell Savitri, look, Savitri, this early morning, before we came to the forest here, you got ready, prepared yourself, you went to the stone-carved statue of Durga, statue carved by your husband, Satyavan. You offered worship to her. You offered worship, prayed for protection from her, that she be with her when she goes to the forest. This man is watching from above. I have seen all that thing. Where is she now? He is asking, what happened to her? But here he watches the being. Aloof, he watches soul and absolute, indifferent to the cry in nameless calm. His being is pure, unwounded, motionless one. Now he is a witness after all. Therefore he is not affected by what is going around here. Witness is not affected. He watches all the things happening around here, the show. He is pure, he remains aloof from that thing. He remains unwounded, he remains without any motion, moveless. One, he remains for himself, you see. I made the worlds by net, each joy a mesh. A hunger amorous of a suffering prey, light that devours my image, see, anything. A hunger. That is the very nature of the void. Void means all that comes into existence, void will swallow it up. That is the hunger of the void. It will not allow anything to exist. It will not allow anything to remain in any created form, any material form at all. Nothing can exist because of void. And therefore, this is a hunger. Now, this is a hunger which is actually much larger than the hunger of the vital creature. Anything that would come into existence is that it will swallow up. That is hunger. Therefore, it is a tremendous, great miracle, a wonderful achievement that out of this void something could emerge and remain, something in conscience. So it is a very great advance that out of this hungry void, that something could come into existence and remain in conscience, has the stability, that firmness, that rockiness, that it can withstand the swallowing hunger of the void. It can remain there. So, in that sense, inconscience is something great, something absolutely marvelous, that it can withstand the power of hunger or the void and give a stability for things that would happen from that point onward. They may not be very acceptable to you, so what? But a great advance has already been made that whatever will be created will not be swallowed by this hungry void. You see. Life that devours my image see in things. So that is the primordial. Hunger, of course, stands for death himself, in essence. You see. Mortal, whose spirit is my wandering breath. Yes, what are you after all? My wandering breath. Whose transience was imagined by my smile. Flee, clutching the poor gain to thy trembling breast. Pierced by my pang, time shall not soon appease. So go away, quick, 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 before I swallow you up. So that discord which he is talking about. Blind slave of my deaf force, whom I compel to sin that I may punish, whom I compel to sin that I may punish, to desire that I may scourge thee with despair and grief. And thou, coming bleeding to me at the last, thy nothingness recognized, thy greatness known, turn nor attempt forbidden happy feet. Attempt not forbidden happy feats, they are not for you at all. Meant for the soul that can obey my law, lest in the somber shrine thy tread awake from their uneasy iron-hearted sleep. The Furies who avenge fulfill their desire. So we are seeing last time the Furies say they are asleep, and before they wake up, quick, quick, go away. These Furies will come and follow you. They with the dark black skin, having serpents on their hair and all that kind of thing, angry, monstrous, they will come and pounce upon you and you will be torn to pieces. You will know where. Before all that happens, please go away quickly. In my safety, run away from here quickly before the Furies away. Dread, less in skies where passion hoped to live. The unknown's lightning start and terrified, lone, sobbing, hunted with the hounds of heaven, a wounded and forsaken soul. Thou flee to the long torture of the centuries, nor many lives exhaust the tireless wrath. Hell cannot slay, nor heaven's mercy assuage. Nobody can help you. Neither hell can slake your thirst, nor heaven help you out. I will take from thee the black eternal grip. This grip of death which is there, it is I will take away. So now you please go away quickly, safely. Clasping in the heart the phrase exiguous dole. This is what we were saying last time. Exiguous doles, scanty gifts, small little petty doles, payments, which are regular payments are given, that is the dole. So it is those you accept and go away quickly, quickly, quickly. Depart in peace. If peace for man is just, if peace for man is just, which only means that there is really no peace for man. There cannot be peace for man. There cannot be peace for man as long as death is present. As long as death is present, there cannot be peace. In fact, it is perhaps that which keeps his urge, his aspiration, his hope, his desire to grow more and more. And there is a kind of a struggle, therefore, to achieve what he hopes for, what he wants to do. There is a kind of a struggle. And when there is a struggle, there cannot be peace. There cannot be peace. But now, you want this thing, go away quickly and remain peaceful there. If peace can be there, you go back to the hermitage, live with your elderly parents-in-law, serve them, be of help to them, and remain and live a peaceful life if there can be peace. But Savitri answered, meeting scorn with scorn. So it is nail for nail, tooth for tooth. You cannot but do that, you see. Now the question will arise, should really Savitri take that kind of a stand? He will be talking with full of scorn. Should Savitri also adopt the same method, scorn with scorn? Should she can rise to her nobility, to her greatness, to her majesty, to her high stature, and answer in a different manner. Why does she want to say scorn with scorn? Because she has to make here a kind of a rhetorical point. A rhetorical point. Her answer is not directly answered, it is a rhetoric. What you are talking is all nonsense. This is what she is basically saying. It is not acceptable to me. I can't accept what you are telling me. And therefore, to make a rhetorical point, scorn with scorn. She is making a rhetorical point. But Savitri answered, meeting scorn with scorn. The mortal woman to the dreadful Lord. So that is the contrast. She is the mortal woman, he is the dreadful Lord, the giver of law, the upholder of law, the ordiner of the world, Yama. That is the dreadful Lord. And then she is questioning, who is this God imagined by thy night? You are imagining such a God. Who are you talking about? What are you talking about? Do you understand what you are speaking? It looks like that. You are not able to gauge the depth of your own thoughts, of your own ideas, of your own formulation, what you are talking about. Who is this God after all? Who is this God imagined by the night, contemptuously creating worlds at disdain? Who made for vanity the brilliant stars? You have made the stars, brilliant stars, for your vanity. For your vanity. It is not this God who has made the stars for that purpose. You have made the stars from me, they are coming to existence, all right. For what? To proclaim, to announce, to assert your vanity. We have made the stars. My God does not do that kind of a thing. Not he who has reared his temple in my thought and made his sacred floor my human heart. He has made my heart a temple floor. He comes and walks in the temple. He lives there. He moves around there in the temple. It is not that kind of a God who has created these vainglorious forms of yours. My God is will and triumphs in his path. So whatever he wants, that he will assert, and he will see that that will gets fulfilled, triumphs in his path. My God is love and sweetly suffers all. This world is harsh, this world is cruel, this world is agonizing, but he suffers for that. He loves it. He has created it for a purpose. He has not abandoned it. He is always in love. My God is love. My God is will. So these are the two big assertions Savitri is making. My God is will. My God is love. By becoming will, he triumphs everywhere. His will is that which will achieve what it wills. What he wills, that will. That is a triumph. So that is the will. My God is love. So even when he is suffering here, mortality, accepting the inflictions of death, of ignorance, of torture, of all that, he suffers because of his love for this creation. It is the power of love which will redeem His creation. This is exactly the entire meaning and trust of Christ avatarhood. Christ avatarhood is all quintessence in this one single line. In this one single line. Suffer sweetly all. It is because of that suffering that love has become immortal. It was necessary for Shravantu to depart. It is occurred requirement that he should depart. He must go 5th December 1950, 1:25 a.m. He must depart on that day because it is only by going he could fix the supermind permanently in the material creation. He could fix supermind in the material creation only because of that. It was necessary. It was coming and going. In order to fix up permanently here in matter, in the physical, he had to leave that thing so that it is not trapped. It is a strategic move to hold on supermind in the material world here. He had to go in the same manner, roughly 2000 years earlier. Christ had to suffer on the cross so that love triumphs. Love is fixed in this creation. The way Shravantu fixed supermind in the physical on 5th December 1950, in the same manner, Christ, by accepting the crucifixion, fixed love permanently in this creation. That it cannot go away, it has to remain here permanently. That is a great magic, that is a great occult logic behind the whole thing. Why had Christ to suffer that way? That only in that way the physical receives the full power of love which remains permanently then here. And see the magic transformation which had taken place after that. The whole spiritual scenario completely changed after the crucifixion. You see, the psychic being came into most prominent way in the operations of the social dynamics, in the operations of the spiritual dynamics, in the operations of the occult workings. It is that power of love which started expressing itself everywhere. It was not only in one particular place that it happened, not on Via Dolorosa. It happened there all right, but the power spread universally. The bhakti movement which came after that event is universal. It flourished wherever it could flourish. Wherever the psychic being could come out, the opening of the psychic being is the magical thing which came because of this power of love which suffers sweetly in all the psychic being. It is that which has opened out completely, you see. The whole bhakti movement, in fact in India there was bhakti, but now the psychic coming out has taken a totally different turn in the last 2000 years. You see so many movements in all the parts of India. The bhaktas arose, the devotees arose, and all kind of songs, recitation, temple, chants, everything became bhakti, 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 bhakti. You see. After that particular event, love the sweetly suffers for all. After crucifixion, in fact, that is what makes Christ an avatar who fixed God's love here. in the physical by sacrificing himself. You see, by sacrificing himself. That is the great sacrifice, you see. And the Bhakti movement, of course, it had certain negative effects also, but that is a different matter. Say, Bhakti movement, all right, then you say, He will do everything. You to God will take care of me everything. I want food, it is His botheration, not mine. He has to provide food to me. You see. No, that became tamasic. That wouldn't work, that kind of a thing. So the negative elements also started coming because of that thing. So it is not love alone, it is not will alone, but the totality of the powers of the Spirit. It is that which must come into existence. The mother speaks of three great moments in the entire spiritual history. She says of in the earlier stages, the urge for immortality, the Vedic rishis, what did they earn? Amrutam, immortality. God, immortality. In the world of knowledge, immortality. Their whole pursuit was immortality. Their whole sadhana, their whole tapasya, their whole yoga, their whole yajna operation was towards immortality. That was a great thing. That was one moment. The second moment was, of course, permanent. Buddha, he sought permanent. The whole present world is temporal, is transient, is fleeting, is going away. There is something which has to be permanent, which has to be always there, unshaken, undisturbed by all these things at all. Timeless, absolute, non-moving, permanent. That was the search of permanence of the Buddha. But the mother says, well, that is good, but sorry, it is not permanence that we are seeking for. Permanent in a different sense. Permanent means what is there will remain as it is. As it is. We don't want that. What we want is a manifestation, evolving growth of the possibilities of the Spirit in this creation. Not permanent, but evolving growth of the possibility of the Spirit. That is what we want. So she wants to go beyond immortality. She wants to go beyond the permanent of the Buddha. She wants to go beyond the will of Agni. I must do this, I must triumph, I must do that. She wants to go beyond this love for God of suffering. The problem with Christianity was, or has been, and is still there, that they had deified sin and error and evil. They have made God of sin. You are a sinner. That kind of, it is that which is the mistake. What is required is love. And that has to be correct. So she says that, look, through the ages of spiritual growth, you had immortality, you had the search for permanent, you had search for the will of Agni to do things, you have the power of love manifesting itself. These are the different dawns which had come in the course of spiritual awakening through the ages and ages. But that is not enough. What she says, what we want, what Sri Aurobindo has been asserting is not immortality, not love, not will, not the permanent. What he has been asserting is certitude, the divine certitude, the supramind. It is inevitable and decreed that supermind shall take possession of this creation. That is the certitude I want. That is the certitude. Supermind will descend and assert itself in this creation. That is the certitude we want. And the whole thrust of spirituality is now moving from immortality, from the permanent, from the will, from the love, to the power of certitude. It is decreed and inevitable that supermind shall manifest upon earth. It is decreed, well, it is inevitable that it must happen. One can understand it is inevitable because it is that which will give the certitude. Therefore, it is inevitable if there has to be certitude in this manifestation. It has to happen, there will be certitude only when that happens here. It is decreed. Who has decreed that? It is decreed that supermind will descend. Who has decreed that? Who else can decree except the great yogi? By his yoga, he saw that it is done, it is decreed. He gets sanction from the Supreme. Please, this has to happen. You can't stop it. Let it happen. That is the decree. He wills it and he asserts it and it is sanctioned from the Supreme. The decree is approved by the Supreme. To him I have offered hope for sacrifice and gave my longings as a sacrament. So that is the kind of a worship I am making now for him. So we are at the last few 30, 40 sentences of this canto of this book also, book 9, when the dialogue between Savitri and Yama has just begun. It is kind of a warming up of the full debate which will come in the next book, book 10. Savitri was offered some boons by death. She insisted that he has to give if he wants to give. He must give. She demands boons from him. Now that, as I was telling you, looks kind of paradoxical that she is demanding fruits, gives rewards, prizes from death. But I think there is a much deeper occult content in it. Yes, he has also some power and he can exercise his occult power, which should not be disrespected. And Savitri accepts what he says, but at the same time she says, not that I will take what you are giving. She doesn't say that I will take what you are giving. I demand. I must have this from you. And it has the full occult force, occult value, occult content, occult preciousness in that demand of Savitri. And that is how the dialogue begins. What Satyavan as a boy had wished in his early life, it is that he was offering to Savitri first. Eyesight to his blind father, and then of course the kingdom and the lost glory and the majesty and the royalty and all that. Okay, take this, take this, take this, no problem at all. And she accepts that. She demands those things, you see. Now, in the story of Savitri, as we have got, Bhimasena had lost his eyesight, and it is that eyesight which has come back to him now through death, through Yama, which is very important. Therefore she says demand. You see, at the end of this thing, Bhimasena, Lord of the shining host, father of Satyavan, is the divine mind here fallen blind. Divine mind here fallen blind. Losing its celestial kingdom of vision, and through that loss, its kingdom of glory. So it is the divine mind which has fallen here. Now, what she is claiming back from death, from Yama, is the divine mind. Actually, it is already the divine mind. So it is the divine gift she is asking from Yama. It is in your possession. Come on, release it. You cannot keep it always with you, the divine mind. It must come back into the dynamics of life here, and you have to give it back to Dhumasena. I demand that he gets his vision. It is the divine mind which is now lost here in the kingdom of death, and she is reclaiming for the glory of man's future, for man's prosperity and royalty and majesty, and all those richnesses of life. So that is how she is demanding that kind of a thing from death, you see. She is not soliciting, she is not praying, she is not lying at his feet prostrate, come on, give me that. She demands, I want that. The divine mind is important, and that is the great claim she is making. Of course, accompanying with that is the glory of life, the majesty, the royalty, the kingdom, the empire, all of them had to come together. In the same way, Savitri has received that kind of a gift, and death tells, my dear girl, you have won what you wanted, now you please go back home and attend to the funeral rites of your dead husband. You have to take care of those things. Go back and attend. But Savitri says, I am sorry, I am not going to back home at all. Wherever thou leadest his soul, I shall pursue. I shall pursue. She says, pursue. She doesn't say, I will follow. Wherever he goes, I will pursue him. It is pursue, not following, going in his footsteps alone. I want him back. He has to be back with me for the work which I had to do on earth. But to her claim opposed, implacable, insisting on the immutable decree. Immutable decree. What is the decree here? The Satyavan is dead, finished. There is no question of his now getting life back. That is the law. That is the way things happen in the mortal world. He is dead and finished. You can't take him back now, see. That law cannot be broken. That is the immutable decree of the divine himself in a certain sense. Insisting on the inimitable law and the insignificance of created things. Out of the roaring waves of night there came, born from the enigma of the unknowable devil, a voice of majesty and appalling scorn. Appalling scorn. What does he care about Savitri's sentiments, about Savitri's wish, Savitri's desire, Savitri's pursuance? What does he care for? He has no value for that, because what matters to him is the law. The law cannot be terminated, cannot be abrogated, cannot be made short at all. The law, that is why it is called Yama. Yama means law, ordainer of the world. He is the one who ordains things. Yama means law. So actually this word law stands for Yama himself, for death, you see here. And the insignificance of created things. Yes, what is this palpable life here? Small little life coming and dying, like a moth, you live for a while and disappear next moment, you see. It is that he has no respect for that kind of a life, even of man who claims himself to be the crown of this creation at the moment. He has no respect for that at all. For him, he is still a moth who is burning with the fire, insisting on the immutable law and the insignificance of created things out of the roaring waves of night. Now, see, insignificance of created things. This phrase summarizes the entire value of the mortal creation. In this one phrase you have got what is the value, what is the worth of this mortal life, of this mortal creation. Insignificant among created things. It has absolutely nothing in it at all. You see, you may build big towers, you may big temples, big churches, whatever, big multiple complexes, Walmarts, or Terminal 1, Terminal 2, or Terminal 3 of the airports, you see. What are they after all finally? Insignificant things in this creation. You see. They have no value at all. And the insignificance of created things, out of the roaring waves of night, so the whole landscape of night is there, and out of that now his voice is surging out in response to Savitri. Born from the enigma of the unknowable depths, born from the enigma of the unknowable depths. How has this really happened? That is the enigma. The unknowable depths, the unknowable is the absolute, is full of positive things, if at all they are there. In manifestation, what comes from the unknowable will be always positive. Yet, you see here this waste of night, this scene of night, this harsh figure of death. How has that happened? How that has happened really? That is the enigma. That is the real enigma. How that has really happened. That is the enigma, you see. Now here the enigma is not resolved because he is not giving a lecture on philosophy, how the enigma has come into existence. But it is a fact that out of that benevolent, supreme creator, such a thing should have happened, such a thing should have come into existence. And that is the enigma. And therefore it is that enigma now which is lending his own voice to the debate which is going on with Savitri. Born from the enigma of the unknowable depth, a voice of majesty. You see, he has a power, he has a command, he is full of law which can be implemented with full authority. He can impose the law with authority. Therefore, there is a majesty in his personality and abhorring scorn. He doesn't care about this small little world all around here. So there is a scorn in his eyes for this world. As when the storm-haired Titan starting sea throws on a swimmer his tremendous love, remembering all the joy his waves had drowned. So the way the sea in its rush, in its high tide, is drowning the swimmer, it is in that manner. Throws the swimmer his tremendous love. So he is laughing at the swimmer struggling to cross the shore, see. Remembering all the joy his waves had drowned. So it has drowned people all the way. And it is remembering those joys of drowning. Remembering all the joy his waves had drowned. So from the darkness of the sovereign night, again, it is a sovereign night. Sovereign night. Again, the woman's boundless heart arose. The almighty cry of universal death. Of universal death. Now, it is not death pertaining only to a given individual. It is not in the context of Satyavan alone. It is the law of the creation. It is the cosmic law which is applicable to every mortal creature. And after all, Satyavan is a mortal being. He must be subject to the law of mortality, to the law of the mortal world, to the ordering of death's command. He must be subject to all that, you see. The almighty cry of universal death. What does it say? Hast thou God wings? Now, hast thou God wings? That is the scarf with which he is talking. You are flying in the air, in the seventh sky and all that thing. Are you flying with God wings up there like that? What are you talking? You are a human creature after all. Hast thou God wings or feet that tread my stars? Frail creature with the courage that aspire, forgetting thy bounds of thought, thy mortal rule. After all, who are you? You are a mortal creature. You are a mortal creature. Small, trivial mosquito, or whatever you want to call it, you see. Who are you after all? Forgetting the bounds of thought. You are tied to your own thoughts and remain safe in the ideas of your thoughts. Forget about all those things. Their orbs were coiled before thy soul was formed. Their orbs. Stars, obviously, star. Trade by star. Their orbs. How suppose you means circles round. Not only this, orb means globe. Spherical orbs were coiled before thy soul was formed. So they had come much earlier than you.
True, yeah.
It's true.
Soul is
Was present.
before the
Yeah.
universe.
Savitri came on the scene much later. When man lifted up the burden of his spirit, at that time awoke Savitri. You see. So Savitri's arrival in that sense appears much later. You see.
Years,
Yeah.
but it's not true.
It's true.
No, but the souls were born before the universe.
Savitri, see, and Savitri too awoke among those tribes.
Yeah, but that's
Among those tribes, who are those?
talking about the reality.
So that is when the mental being had arrived, when the mental being had arrived on the scene of evolution, then Savitri comes up and starts her work. Actually, her work begins from that point onward. When man lifted up the burden of his fate, that is the first the last line in the first section. Man lifted the burden of his fate, and Savitri too awoke among these tribes, these mental beings, the early creatures who had arrived in the scene. She has come there. So much before that, the evolution was going on from the void into inconscience, into matter, into star. All those things were happening all along. And Savitri comes into picture, into the dynamic picture, when the mental being arrives on the scene. Man lifted up means the arrival of the mental being. Manomaya Purusha. Hast thou got wings or feet that tread my star? Their arms were coiled before thy soul was formed. I, death, created them out of my void. Yes, that is very true. He is making correct statement. You see, in the night, it is out of the void the night was born, and it is the night that those arms were born, were coiled up, made, you see. I, death, created them out of my void. So the stars here, what you call stars here, are the creations of this death. Therefore, the stars die. It is true. The sun, they have got a finite life. You see, they have got a finite life. They keep on recycling. Astronomically, the stars are not eternal. They have got a life cycle. They go through various stages of cycles. I, death, created them out of my void. All things I have built in them, and I destroy. Well, his main function is to destroy. And in order to destroy, I must build. And in order to destroy, that is my function. I must build. All things I have built in them, and I destroy.